Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hello, children. Out of shape Cappy. After running all over Tarnation and helping people move, I went running for the first time. Did 8 miles, but it was painful. And I got a little jiggly gut down at the bottom now. I was like, oh my god, is that so? It's time to get serious. So Cappy is not traveling. This is going to be a lengthier one, I think. Hi Aaron, 6 years ago you posted the No Children Manifesto, and he provides the link. I would like you to revisit the topic in a video response in which you would reflect and elaborate on your previous statements. To get you started, here are additional considerations. An easier life versus loneliness and support in later life. Raising children into this clown world in the future. But that argues for me. Happiness with or without children. If you need more proof, Professor Dan Gilbert, Happiness, What Your Mother Wouldn't Tell You. He provided a link there. And I listened to that video. Will your woman really be happy in the future after the rational decision not to have kids? Share your updated experience in life with other parents. Cost-benefit analysis regardless of person's opinion. Starting to have kids in your late 30s or 40s. Let me know the price. Regards, Dennis. Okay, so I went back and I listened to myself, and nothing has really changed. Now, in all intellectual honesty and truth and fairness, I've said this before, I am not the normal person. Okay, people, why do you want to have kids? And I logically know. I logically conclude the most important thing in life is other human beings, and the most important human beings in that most important group will likely be your kids or your spouse. I understand that, and when you think about, nihilism or evolution or, a non-religious world, the only thing to really do is to have kids. That's the only real genetic or biological reason, evolutionary reason you're here. Someday that your kids might figure out the secrets of the universe, and now we might find some other reason. But right now, man, the only real reason to live is to have kids. I understand that logically. Me, that was just plain beat out of me. Not physically, but metaphorically. Through divorced parents, shitty childhood, no fucking food, no fucking money. A lot of it boils down to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where, like, if you're in the bottom two categories, you're just barely getting by eating and, oh God, I hope I make rent. And your car breaks down, you're wiring the bumper up, you're wiring your muffler up, even though it's not attached, because you don't want to get pulled over for, not having a muffler, but even though it's not connected, it's still a noise ordinance, but it's still connected, so the cops will pull you. If you've been there, you can if you're there too long, your survivalist instincts kick in, and you never want to go back. And you're like, dude, you know what I really enjoyed today? Do you know what I really enjoyed? And I want to thank all of you who donate to the podcast with your super chats, those who become Patreon members. I bought a Poke Bowl today. I bought a $12 Poke Bowl, and that was a treat. That was a luxury. And I was very happy to have that Poke Bowl. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's amazing food. It's wonderful. I like knowing that I'm not going to starve. I like knowing I'm not going to freeze. I like stability. And even then, to this day, even though, Cappy, you'd make a great dad. You get to work from home. You got the wisdom and the stuff, and you work for it today. Nope. Still worried, man. Still worried. Because until I have fuck you money, I'm never going to calm the fuck down. Until I have enough money saved up for retirement today. And the house is paid off and everything. And and I got a good position in President Schmidt. I got enough Bitcoin. Then maybe. The warning sirens will go off and everything else. Then maybe, maybe I want to have kids. Highly doubt it. Because, as I said before, you live in that environment enough, and if you just don't have a good childhood, it is beaten out of you epigenetically, I guess, if you want to call it the technical term. It repulses me. It churns my stomach thinking about a kid. That would be like panic. That's why I had a vasectomy, 13 years ago now, 12 years ago. It's been a while. I don't want kids. Now, admittedly, I'm not everybody else. And admittedly, logically, if you deduce it over the course of time and enough philosophizing, you're like, yeah, it's really only kids. No. There's a group of people out there, just like me, and we're an increasing number, where there is not the fucking stability, and it's just plain beating everyone. Now, a lot of you dumb motherfuckers have kids when you're poor. Matter of fact, poor people breed more, and then, yeah, why are we poor? We keep spitting out kids. Why are we so poor? That's a different conversation for a different time. Wyoming. Anyway, but there's an increasing number of people. The millennials, they're now, why are the millennials having kids? Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's all that fucking debt they got. Huh. So I think this is going to be an increasing trend where people have it beaten out of them, or they just financially can't afford it. Or here's another thing, delayed childhood. Oh, fuck yes. I'm not leaving this planet until I have my childhood. That's why I go adventuring and hiking and riding motorcycles and golf and this and that. Because I never had one. Everybody has a childhood, whether it was fun or not is another thing. Now I see people like had this picturesque, wonderful nuclear family like, well, I want to have 5 kids. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, that's right, you still know who your dad is, and you have the original set of parents that stayed together, and it wasn't fucking drama and chaos, and they actually provided for you. I could see where you think childhood and having children would be fun. So, with that, my personal thing, my personal preferences, I still stand by that. But then also the other things that I listed, the future of the fuck that shit. And especially fuck that shit if you're going to have white kids. Sorry to bring race into it, but I'm sorry. You look at how we are training the country and the kids and everybody. It's white people are rat bastards and they need to pay and they have privilege, and we're going to give preferential hire. We're going to discriminate against white people. That's really what it boils down to. They'll say, oh, it's affirmative action. No, it's the same, two sides of the same coin. You can't positively discriminate against one group of people without negatively discriminating. You know, you're being unfair. You look at the schools and how, everything is white people's fault. Fuck, I'm not bringing a kid into that shit. Forget that political nightmare. Then on top of it, speaking of white people, you want to talk about the biggest supporters of socialism? Liberal white people. I'm not bringing my kids into a socialist Marxist hell, which is where this country is going. And you think, old man, just gray hair, you're after my guns and my money. Aha! It's going to be funny until there ain't no food in the shelves. You'll see Venezuela. Maybe not that bad, but rolling brownouts. And how is traffic in California? How are living costs? How is the feces on the streets? Oh, yeah. And I'm crazy. Oh, Seattle? No, it's not going to happen. So me being a white guy, I have to look at because nothing but race is jammed in my face every day, from school to government to employers to advertising. It's all about race. We got to, oh my God, it's this. And heaven help you if you have a boy. Your race don't even matter there. I mean, if you have a boy, that kid, oh, geez, I'm sorry, pal, you're bad. You have toxic masculinity. No, just plain go fuck yourselves. I'm not bringing a kid in. I love my kid more than most people love their kids. Then they have them and I don't because I'm smart enough not to do that. So then there's also the economic financial reasons. Last I added it up, it was $350,000 in total debt a kid born today is going to inherit. Of course, none of you are going to train your kid to pay for that. You won't have to go through that. I don't forecast good economic times or futures. Like I said, just keep the freaking lights on. All right, that's all I really want. What else is there? I would raise my child to be a producer, not a parasite. And so basically, since this is a democracy now, we're just going to have everybody vote for everybody else's money, and my kid's going to be a producer. He'd be like, well, I guess you're just a slave to everybody. Right now, I'm about a 45% slave. You too are about a 45% slave if you're working, because that's where most of your money goes, to other people. Actually, you got to back out, road and defense and things like that. But a good, 25% to a third of your waking hour or your working hours is being a slave to someone else. It's only going to get worse as more and more Democrats are born, bred, made, or brainwashed over in the public schools and the colleges. So I'm not going to have my kids slave away at 40, 50, 60% of their life. Not going to happen. And I also mentioned it in the in my original video, like, dude, have you seen the kids being raised now? Now, that was 6-7 years ago. Now, people my age who waited a little bit, maybe a little bit more financially stable, people on my team, read my article, some of the people on your team or something like that. So I have started seeing people I respect and like and look at, people I consider friends, people I consider colleagues, start raising their children. Oh, fuck. Ain't none of you raising them right. Not a one. And I'm wise enough now not even to bother in intervening or giving because it's not gonna, no one's gonna change. But the main thing is dads are pussies. The fathers today are right or left, liberal or not, soy or doesn't matter. I don't know. Well, I do know one guy. I know one guy who is raising his daughter correctly. And you will, this is masculine, that's feminine, you will work, da-da-da-da-da-da. Everybody else I know, every father out there is failing fucking miserably, which is great for Asshole Consulting because I need all you fathers to fuck it up and not be there for your kids. I've seen kids disrespect their fathers, tell them no, and then the fathers just hermit off. I've seen people try, my favorite is no one's spanking, there ain't nobody spanking. There was a study, shut the fuck up. These kids are running rampant over their goddamn parents. These kids are disrespectful. These kids are going to be dysfunctional. Some of them already are dysfunctional. You got 5 years, and if you don't, kids are going to be disrespectful. They're not going to listen. They're going to major in stupid shit. That's if they major in stupid shit at all. At least half these kids are going to have some kind of mental. Mark my words. Mark my words. If my little sample of the world here, even coming from nuclear families, if my little sample of the world here is any indication, half the fucking kids, I even think Gen Z is going to save us, half the fucking kids are going to have some kind of mental illness. And they don't have a mental illness. It's that their fathers either weren't around or their fathers were fucking pussies and absentee fathers. They were there, they didn't father. Because fathering's tough. Yeah, man, you got to play bad cop. You got to play bad cop. You got to spank. You got to discipline. You got to say no. My God, if a kid ever... And I just sit there, and then I realize, oh wait, this is the liberal family that votes up my taxes all the time. Then I'm like, see you, bye. Have fun with your problems that you caused. I'm out of here. So when I look at these kids, I mean, already I knew the kids were pretty screwed up. Oh my God, I totally underestimated. Nobody is raising their children because truthfully, you know what? Nobody loves their children. Or maybe they love their children, but they don't love their children as much as they fear the inconvenience of actually having to be a fucking parent. So they actually kind of love themselves more than they love their kid. Maybe they do love their kid. I'm sure they'd be very sad if the kid died. But push comes to shove. Based on their behaviors of most parents, take out all politics or correlations or gender or race, it's across the fucking board. Modern day Gen Z Gen X and millennial parents fucking suck. They are worse than the goddamn baby boomers, believe it or not. That's after I've seen that, I'm just like, holy fuck. Just holy fuck. And so now, because children are the future. I'm like, dude, keep the lights on for 15 years, can you? This is not at the cellular level. The country and the West in general, we could talk about the United States, but the West in general, no. They are not going to be good cells. They're not going to be good building blocks. They will be completely useless and worthless. And so the economy is going to continue to slow down as it has, as the quality and caliber of people continues to go down. So are your economic growth rates, and it has. Your debts are going to go up, which they have. Oh, we're going to bail out the millennials. We're going to bail out the... What do you want to bet when the baby boomers try and retire here, which they are trying to? They don't have enough... How much you want to bet? We need this, we need that. We need a housing bailout. That was Gen X. Gen X got bailed out in the housing. You fuckers, I'll admit that was my generation. So the long-term economic fundamentals, the overall fundamentals of the country are going to go down the toilet. The people themselves are going to go down the toilet. And the fuck if I'm going to bring a little Aaron Clary into this world, or an Aaronika Clary into this world, and have him or her suffer the fucking morons that are being brought up now. Your kids fucking suck. And the hell, if I'm going to have... Look, Gen X sucked. Most people in Gen X, we don't hear about them because we're such a small... But most of them, yeah. You could push them in front of a train. You're not really missing out. And it's not like just because they're not boomers or millennials, they were something great. They're no World War II generation. Most of them sucked. Wasn't worth hanging out with them. My peers fucking suck. Age peers. But the little tyrants, the little worthless pieces of shit you people are failing to raise. Oh, go fuck yourselves. No. Most parents don't love their kids today. Most of them. It's very rare that parents actually love their kids. Right? Most of you do not. And those kids will grow up to be like the, I don't know, millennials squared, what was social justice, where everyone's offended, everyone has such fragile feeling, oh, fuck that. No. So I'm even more convinced now in the past 6 years, now that I've seen people actually fail to raise their kid. They bred. That's all they did was breed. Nope. So that's it overall. Now as to your specific questions you wanted here, an easier life versus loneliness and support in later life. I've never believed that because I know a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of this with the baby boomers where they die alone because they didn't raise their kids right. It is an easier life without kids, I'll tell you that, because God almighty, I can't imagine what it would be like to have a kid. Holy shit. I would have starved. But yeah, I'd like to eat and not die. And if that means I gotta be a little bit lonely in the nursing home, oh well. Already, you know, look, I've seen it happen to some friends. Once those kids turn 11 or 12, they don't give a shit about that. They're off doing their own thing, as they kind of should, you know, they want to do it. Just because you had kids doesn't guarantee they're going to show up. You got to raise them right. And see, no one's raising their kids right. Everyone's going to be alone. Everybody. Raising children in this clown world in the future. Yeah, it's going to be clown world. Honk, frickin' honk. No way. Happiness with or without children. And then you cite this interesting video, a guy, Dan Gilbert. I guess he's a specialist in happiness. And he pointed out that people without children were happier than those with children. But he provided a lot of caveats. He pointed out that, gee, surprise, surprise, the people who were less happy because they had children tended to be single parents. Who knew? And with 43% of people being single parents, why the fuck would I bring a kid into this world? I gotta pay for all the single moms' kids. Here you are, U.S. Treasury. Here you are, Department of Minnesota Revenue. Yeah, spend it bribing more people to go vote for your social programs so evil people like me can pay for it. But then if you were, I think, stable nuclear family and you had enough money, then kids were a positive in happiness. But overall, children made you less happy. I'd be very curious to see if that held up in the past. Like if you went to World War II and you had a child, the World War II journey, were they happier? Because they might have stuck around. I don't know. But yeah, when you're having kids because it's a thing and you find out that thing costs as much as a brand new luxury SUV with payments, and it gets sick, by the way, and it shits the bed. I know I've never had children. I know I love hanging out with my little nieces, like spending time with children, but man, once those little fuckers start crying and about stupid shit, and I say, hey, knock that crap off. I don't play that game. Sometimes they don't. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you have to crying. So statistically speaking, yes, people on the whole are happier without children. He also talked about how marriage was key. I'm all for, if you find the right person, get together. Absolutely, go ahead. If you find the right person, don't have great expectations. I think, and then he estimated it. He says like that'll gain you 15 years of additional happiness, and then the happiness phases out. Like there's no benefit after 15 years to being married because the wife gets fat. The wife and husband get fat. Why is he so? I always got a joke. I love to do a great sociological experiment. Well, my husband did. He's not like that. Like, how about you lose 25 pounds? Let's just see what happens, huh? For shits and giggles, let's just see what happens. Will your woman really be happy in the future after the rational decisions not to have kids? Now, here's what's interesting was women were more happy without kids. The men, if they had kids, they were happier. Between the sexes. And it's really hard to say, would a woman really be happy in the future? Well, you wouldn't know. She'd have to compare and contrast, and you can't do that. I think your woman, statistically speaking, she will be happier. She just won't know it. There will always be that nagging opportunity cost. But in the end, I think as they spend more and more time, like with the GF, we spend more and more time with the nieces and the nephews, and she's kind of like, yeah, I do on this genetic level want to have kids. She's like, look at these genes. They should. She's like, well, you got a point there. Okay, can't argue that. But then it's kind of like, hey, did you want the Maker's Mark or the Maker's Mark 4060? She's like, I'll have the Maker's Mark 46. Well, there's the $2 extra for it. And it's nice. It's really nice. Because that $2 extra does not determine whether you starve for that week or not. In kids, I don't care what studies say, unless you've dwelled in the lower two stages of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, money really does count for a lot. I think he even talked I think you got to make 75 grand, and anything beyond 95% of the happiness you can gain from money is at $75,000. Beyond that, you can maybe eke out another 5%. I'd be a little bit different because I'd be like, make the fucking money down. Like, it's more, what do I got saved up? That's what I got. What does my diversified saved up portfolio look like? So I think women will never really be happy because they'll never know, because you can't. They'll be curious. Oh, my mom, she's so funny. I think I could have kids again. Like maybe we could adopt. I'm like, Mom, no, just retire. Be happy. Share your up-to-date experience in life with other parents. I pretty much already did. Yeah. God Almighty. A big old book of go fuck yourself. I take it back. There's another guy I know who raises his kid. He's over in St. Paul. Hey, Quawy! His kids call me Quawy. He does a good job too. But most other parents are they just want, it's so sick. It just angers me. Again, our team, how many of these people had kids because they wanted kids? There was no consideration, like how much it's going to cost. Can we afford this? Where are they going to sleep? The Lord will provide. But it isn't that. It's just, Governor Dayton will provide. President Trump will provide. And then just the dads. Oh my God. American dads, go fuck yourselves. You sad, pathetic, spineless men. Not raising your kids because you can't tell them no. Cost-benefit analysis. It's a lot cheaper to not have kids. What do you mean? You need a cost-benefit analysis on the financial costs and benefits of not having kids? Starting to have kids in late 30s, early 40s. I think for men that's great because you're a little bit more stable. I mean, in the ideal world, you men are going to have to be in your 30s, to get a good job, pay off your debts, maybe go have your fun a little bit. It's going to take a while for you to date girls and find them. Also, in theory, on paper, women are better prepared, or most fertile, most biophysiologically capable of having children in their late teens, early 20s. So on paper, again, you'd have someone like T.J. Martinell, a 32-year-old, going out with a 20-year-old girl, from his local church, and then they go have kids. That would ideally be how it's not. It doesn't work that way. Guys in their 30s and 40s, that part pretty much still holds true to today. You really don't start getting up there into your 30s and 40s. But I don't know any women today are not trained to be responsible mothers. They're not trained to be mothers. They're not trained to be anything but touchy-feely Democrat sociology majors at 20, and how they just care for the people and the feelings, and to vote for more government. That's all. I mean, there's no training. I've talked about this before. Look at how much training they got to be careerists and educationalists, and sometimes they never get a career. They're just professional students. They're just in nonprofit this, get government grant that. I mean, they actually, how much of that training they get then versus, oh, well, here's what men are like, and here's what you got to do to be a good mom. Here's what you got to do. That's not, the home ec kind of thing. That's gone. So it's moot, I'd say, because the vast majority of, and I'm not even necessarily against that either. What's an 18 or 19-year-old girl supposed to do? I mean, unless you were like truly in a religious environment and you really want to have kids young and you knew that and you're mature enough to be a mom, because being a mom is a real job and you got to be mature about it, okay? Look how many Western women fail at it. But no, it's serious. Being a mom is a really hard and serious job. That's another human being. I mean, you could be an accountant and fuck shit up. You could be a mechanic and fuck shit up. But fucking up a kid, that's serious. Parenting is serious business. So being a mom. But, do you want your average 20-year-old girl today to be a mom? So I think, go ahead, go to school, go to college, get a real good skill or trade. Oh, have a little bit of fun, but 25, 26, if you want to get married, there's enough overlapping where the 30-somethings could date the mid-20 to late 20-something girls, but even then, they're all shooting up Sex in the City and they're heroin junkie. I just don't see it happening. And then they can't wait to ship those damn kids out to daycare so they could go work. I mean, that's another thing. It's like, which has been a criticism as long as I can remember thinking about it, but no. In other words, it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse in the past 6 or 7 years. And I am even more convinced you should not have children. At all. Not at all. I know it may be the right thing, biological, Okay, well, if the stars align, you're one of the lucky few, and you're financially stable, and the woman's not batshit insane and sucking the dick of feminism and is going to rush off to go work a career, and someone's going to stay home and take care of the kids. Again, don't care if it's the husband or wife. Somebody stays home and raises those fucking kids, and the father is going to be a goddamn father. Cool. But if not, hey guys, if you don't want a parent, it's not do I want kids. It's not the question. The question is, do I want to be a parent? And if you don't want a parent, because it's hard, or because you don't want to spank, because you're a pussy little soy boy millennial quote father, and I'm going to try and negotiate and time out with my children. Okay, then don't have kids, because that's not being a father. That's not parenting. And ladies, if your career is more important than your children, admit that up front. Get your tubes tied. Go make lots of money. Have fun. But please don't drag fucking innocent children through the fucking lack of parenting. Don't make them objects, but that's what most people have. That's what most parents. That's what most breeders today do, is they have things. The children are things to them. They are objects. I want a child. Nobody wants to parent. Ooh, that's good. You want the child, you don't want a parent. I'll write that down. So there you go. Anyway, thank you for the very interesting question. Had to sit and think that one out. Links to all my cool shit down below. You want to tune into the podcast. You want to buy my books, including Bachelor Pad Economics right there. That'll help you out. What else? Worthless. There you go. That'll make sure that you won't have student loan debt, ladies, if you want to get married and then you go up to a guy and you don't have $250,000 in student loan debt and he'll be like, oh, I can date you then. That's all right, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.